All right. First of all, I want to thank Sunrise Network for having me today for my podcast. And wow, we got a legend here, one of the top players in the world. Dan Smith, welcome to the show, brother.
Honored to be here.
It's great to have you, man. For those who don't know Dan, which I don't think there's many because this guy's a top player, I'm going to give you a few stats with this man. Number one is, according to Hindemob, he's won over $57,362,000. You're number one in Nevada as far as cashing. Your best cash, which I'm going to ask you this question later, is 8,765,000 and change. In Trenton, 2003, won one for 3,870,000. And big one for one drop, you won 2,806,000. Now I know you made so many cash you probably don't know or remember all these. Uh, but welcome to the show, Dan, and it's a pleasure for me to have you here.
The pleasure's mine. I'm happy to be here, and I assure you, those big cashes, I do remember them.
All right, well, listen, I want to talk about this first one that I was telling you about. The best cash for 8,765,000 and change. Where was it? And
uh,
tell me about your experience for that.
it was Triton, London. It was a 1 million invitational. Um, I had a so the way the invitationals work, you need a VIP, a non-professional player, to invite you, and I had a deal locked in, and the person backed out. Or the deal fell through, which has happened to me on quite a few of those tournaments. I was going to be stubborn, and even though they had other tournaments, I was like, well, if I can't play the big tournament, I'm not going to show up and play the second tier tournament. Screw that. And so then what ended up happening was some people on Twitter started chirping at Rob Young, being like, how are you going to have a, a charity tournament and not invite Dan Smith? For those who don't know, I started a charity called Double Up Drive. I've been doing it for 10 years and we've raised almost $30 million for charity. Um, People were talking about how it didn't seem right to have a big charity tournament and not invite me. Rob calls me and is just like, okay, if you could get here in 36 hours, you could play the tournament. I'd already booked my flight because I thought I had a deal, but I had to put together $1 million pretty quickly. And then I got into the tournament and things went well, and I ended up finishing third for my biggest score.
Wow, that is amazing. God, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've won tournaments, not near that kind of money, but just the win, the thrill of big, gigantic tournament like that has to be satisfying, right?
Um, I mean, I know this is strange. I get third for all of that and that money, and I'll
Yeah.
just quickly interject. Like the numbers are inflated. Like that tournament, I only put up 11% of the 1 million. I mean,
Okay.
gambling 110,000 on a
Yeah.
tournament is
Yeah.
still a
A
large
lot of money. Yeah.
wager, but just people see 8.7 million, and it's like, I mean, I won like 800,000, still great, you know. Um, Generally, when the tournaments are done, I don't feel good. I was like pretty upset for like an hour or so. Like I always feel like maybe I could have played better, or like in that case, I got a bad beat to lose, and bad beats never really bother me. But I would say it was like an hour of sake and ice cream until I was like able to appreciate that it was cool. Um, the initial reaction, honestly, I was frustration that I didn't win.
If you got 8 million for third, what was on top? Like 16 million, maybe.
Um, I want to say it would have been 20 million.
20 million.
Um, and also like so it was at the time, if I had won the tournament, I would have been the number one player all time on Hendon Mob. And then also just like at that moment in time when there's three people left in the tournament, third place is the worst I could finish. Um, so then like I'm already like tethered to that result, you know. I'm not saying it's healthy or rational, but that's just the way that I often feel after tournaments, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I've felt that many a times,
Mm.
especially when if I've been a bubble and I didn't make win nothing. Um, what's uh, what's the one tournament that you haven't won that you'd like to win?
Um, so I'm not nearly as skilled in the mixed games, but I play in the 50K Players Championship every year, and I would say that would be a really special one to win. I appreciate the mixed games. It's really a challenge. I really enjoy competing in the mixed games players' biggest event, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could pick one, I would love to take that down.
And that would be a good one to take down.
I
Yeah,
got third one year.
yeah.
Um, and I'm not pretending like I am particularly skilled in the games. But I enjoy playing. I enjoy competing, and would love to do it.
Um, I watch a lot of videos about poker, uh, and I've seen you play in the main event and go deep several times. You haven't won it yet, but do you enjoy playing the main event too?
Um, I finished somewhere around 20th in 2014, and that was a special experience. Um, and then I actually missed it last year because I had travel plans. But the year before that, I got like 100th. So there's 100 people left. Like I'm not even that close to winning the tournament, and it's like day 7, and it's so draining. And like I only cash for like 60,000 or something. Um, I don't seem to enjoy the main event as a lot of other people. Um, I enjoy something about the big buy-in tournaments where if you're in like a 60-player tournament, like you double up twice, like you're excited, like you're kind of in the hunt already, you know? Like
Yeah.
the main event is almost just it's so many people and it's really a grind. Not to be jaded, but for me it is not my favorite poker experience.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked you that is Helmuth came out and said he wasn't going to play the main event this year, which I don't think he's. I think he's going to play. Is what I'm saying.
Given that he said he's not going to play, I would imagine he would be like embarrassed to go back on his word, you know? And it's not a big deal if he does, but if I were to bet on it, I predict he doesn't play. And also he loves going for bracelets and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like if you're trying to win a bracelet, the main event just takes up way too much time, you know? Like day 5 there's still 500 people left or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be, and that time you could be playing like these 150 player mixed events, you know, where you just have way better odds of winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I was just thinking of a question to ask you, and I went brain dead. But would you s- would you say you'd rather play the game 50,000 over the main event? Then is you'd rather play that? Is that what you're getting at?
Not even close, like
Yeah.
so much more.
Wow.
I enjoy the novelty of it. I mean, I've also just played so many no limit hold'em tournaments over the years, you know. It's nice being the underdog, you know, like playing the mixed game tournaments, and I really enjoy like the mental challenge of like I'll be in a situation in like stud high low, and it's like I don't really know what I'm doing, you know.
Oh, I love mixed games, by the way. I love it. I'm pretty good at them.
That's great.
Yeah. Um, how long you been playing poker now? I mean, you still look like a young man, dude.
Thank you. Sunday is my 36th birthday.
Oh
Um,
my. Happy birthday. If I'd known that, I would have bought you a damn birthday present. Shit.
being here is all the present I need, but thank you. Um, I started playing poker when I was around 13 years old. And by the time I was like 15, 16, I would say I was a professional. Like I was making decent money my junior year of high school.
Wow, man, that's wow. What a career it's turning out to be, by the way.
I never would have anticipated this. Like
Wow.
I had a lot of confidence in myself that I was going to make it even before it was justified. But even this, I didn't expect, and I sometimes try to like take the moment to like reflect on how special it's been, because it's easy to be jaded after all these years.
Speaking of taking a moment, I have to when I get a deal to you. Seriously, I mean, I know you're a top-notch player, man, and just you coming on my podcast here, I can't even begin to tell you how I feel right now. Not just you, but everyone, and you guys make me feel loved, and enjoy dealing to you guys. Um, I almost don't even know what question to ask you. That's how overwhelmed I am right now.
Well, a deep breath. Whatever you feel like asking me, whatever you would find interesting, I'm sure the viewers will find interesting. But also, like the players could just, when you're dealing, the energy is just so palpable. Like I really enjoy it when I'm at like the table over and you're like, and we have a call, and it's just like they're having fun. Like especially when it's there was one time I was playing against Chewy and you were dealing, and I was just like the funniest thing I've ever
Oh,
seen.
yeah, I remember that actually. You know, table one, you had to get up and walk out of the room. You was laughing so hard.
it was it was very special. Yeah.
I asked Lucky Chewy the other day if he had a poker table. I have a poker table, but I live with Shane and it's a small condo, and we can't put the poker table up. But I wanted to get some players to deal to, even if it's for fun. Tape it so all of my followers out there get to see why I have so much fun and dealing to you guys. And Lucky Chewy says, "Well, I have the table, but someone's borrowing it right now. But I hope I get that chance so they could see what you see. You say you enjoy my deal, and I'd like to let them see that,
I think that's a great idea.
especially when I go, here's your snack right there. He's all in. He's gonna make the call. Here we go. Here's the flop. I I had a funny dealt a funny hand over in the Aria side, and I do the same thing over there. I do over with you guys in the poker go. I have a blast. Needless to say, I have a blast, and some of this stuff hits my head on the fly. I swear to God, I don't know I'm gonna do it, but I was dealing a cash game, and there was three people that called. I think their raise was only up like $10, and there were two callers. So I bring in the money, and I get ready to burn a turn. I said, "There's what a talented group at this table." These guys are so good. Sometimes they don't realize how good they are. And as I'm doing this, I'm putting the flop out, and then they went check, check, check. Then I go, then again, maybe they do another limitations. So I stand there and I go, then again. And the guy goes, dude, you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong bit. You are a funny son of a bitch. And maybe they do know the invitation. Here you go. So just stuff like that. I don't know what made me say it.
You're one of a kind.
But and I was saying, I'm thinking, God, that is pretty damn funny. The guy goes, dude, you're just something. It's always enjoyable when you're at the table. So I like it when they say that. I don't take it to my head or nothing, but it's pretty funny stuff when
Enthusiasm, I think, is really hard to fake. And it's just clear, like when you're dealing, there's no place you'd rather be.
no, there isn't. I almost don't even like to take a break over there, but I got it. I don't, yeah, Klein, yeah, yeah. So sometimes he'll put me on seven because seven goes to 1-2. That's like three in a row. I don't mind doing three in a row.
Yeah.
It's usually two in a row. But I just love the game. I'm just as energetic when I'm playing it, and everyone thinks I should be behind the wall doing play-by-play. I'd love to do that sometime. And I think what would help is that what I was telling you, someone tape me dealing to a table where everyone can see it, because the only people get to see it's the ones I'm actually dealing to.
So you're saying you want to do some commentary?
I'd love to. Yeah,
I mean, like the Poker Go, they have some of the YouTube streams. I think you'd be great at it.
Well, it may happen someday. I don't know, but I think you think I have fun dealing with it. Can you imagine me doing that? Oh my! And by the way, if I'm not right at the table doing it, okay.
And then you don't have to hold back at
Oh,
all.
you got it. You know where I was
Yeah.
going there. Look at this. He played him like a fiddle, boys. Look at this. But it's just my love. What can I tell you? It's my love for poker. It's changed my life. Um, like I said, my nephew, he says, Uncle, come out here to Vegas with me. You win in Ohio, come out here and learn how to deal professional, and you'll get a play. And, I was a painter, and uh, all the new construction went to hell. And I thought, man, I'm barely making my bills. Why not? So I came out here and I lived for him for a while until I got on my feet. And it's the best move I ever made in my lifetime. What's the best move you ever made in your lifetime? Are you married, by the way, or anything like that?
Um, I am not married. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 2 years now.
Okay. What was your best move you ever made? As far as your life,
Uh,
is it becoming a poker player?
I often try not to think of things as um, better or worse. I think like people sometimes get caught up in, and like that's the way that I think I used to have. Like I used to think, um, but I would often say that things are different. The thing that I am most proud of is starting this charity that has made such a difference in so many people's lives.
Wow.
Um, there are a lot of things I do like about poker. Um, I don't like that for me to win, somebody else has to lose. And I like the end of the day, like if you like take a few steps back, whether I win a tournament or Joey Weissman wins the tournament, like other than the dollars in our bank account, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But like in charity, I feel like everybody wins.
Wow. Show that shirt one more time. Doubleupdive.com. Now, I want to hear a little bit more about it because you seem like you got passion about it. Where do you play it at, and how much is it to get in, and all that stuff?
So um, there's a 1 minute video on our website that's a little cartoon that explains how it works with graphics, which I would encourage people to watch if they are interested. But generally, myself and a few other people are like the matching partners. And suppose you're passionate about animals. Um, if you donate $100 to the animal charity we select, we take $100 from our pool and then we send it there. So your $100 becomes $200.
Oh,
Um, we pick roughly 10 organizations each year that from a wide variety of causes, such that I'm hoping that there's something for everyone. You could trust that the charities are well vetted and they're doing good and all that sort of thing. So you can be confident your money's going to a good place. And I appreciate that, like, okay, you're trying to donate $100, like, you get a tax write off on that money, and I get to send the hundreds. So, like, it costs you 70 and maybe $200 goes to this organization. Like, you're getting a great return on your donation.
wow.
And I'm proud about that. And we also, so we make it easy for small donors. And I've had a couple people donate $1 million, and now they have like it's $1 million, and then like this the smaller donors get to like determine which charities it goes to. Like the whole thing's
Oh,
kind of like
that's
cool and surreal.
wow.
I had somebody reach out to me and be like, "So, how does it work? What is your marketing plan? All of this?" And it's just like, honestly, I don't have a marketing plan. I post on Twitter about it. Um, I'll occasionally do podcasts like this and talk about it, or like I'll wear a patch, but for the most part, it's just word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah, I have a little. It's one of those things that says Las Vegas on it. Zippy. You put money in it. I uh, I put $5 bills in it, and I usually get 100 at a time. And on the way to work, sometimes homeless people out, they'll have that sign out. Whether they're pretending and they maybe ain't you know, be poor or whatever. I usually give them $5 here and there.
And you make their day.
So and I look at it. I don't know about you, but I believe in God, everybody, and I believe the reason I'm still alive right now is God has a reason for me to still be here. And so, me giving that $5 to them, to me, it's nothing, but to them, it might be, hey, I get to eat today. You know what I mean? So, I try to help out what I can. And, it's a good thing. You get a good feeling. That's why you do what you do, right? You get a good feeling about it that you're helping someone out. I mean,
Yeah, I read once that like a good way to have like more positive chemicals in your brain is to do good deeds for others. And I think it's a little cheesy, but if everyone pitched in a little bit, the world would be a much better place, you know? And like I was talking about how like I got third in that tournament and my reaction wasn't joy. I could take a step back and realize how like lucky I am to have had like that success and like I've won a lot of money playing poker and I'm very much in a position to make a change in the world and then I also realize that like because of poker I get TV time or like there was more eyes on me so like doing good being vocal about the charity thing I think has been very impactful.
yeah. Well, by the way, I like your hat. I forgot to mention that. We got some nice white hats here going here today. Um,
People all That's a regular question. People say, "Oh, your house is burning down. You could save one item." My Doyle hat's what I
yeah.
go after. You know,
Yeah. It's been a couple years now. I got to deal with Doyle Brunson one time in the area in the Ivy Room, and for his age and to be as smart and as good as he was at that age, he was like 89, I think. It was amazing. They were playing the mixed games, and he was letting everybody know what they were holding, and he was right. It's crazy. To be that good and that still locked in at his age was amazing.
I've never gotten to play with him, but I've got to interact with him, and even in his old age, he was very sharp. It was
Yeah,
cool to see.
it was crazy. I mean, I was like, wow. And I got to think, see what pro was that had him come and play. He normally likes to play the Bellagio. Okay, that's where he always played mainly. But Eli Alezra got him to come and play at the Aria. That's who it was, Eli. So I'm glad I got to play deals to the guy one
That's very
time.
special.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's an icon. What the
and
heck?
you got to share the table with him.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. It truly was. Okay, you're getting ready to go across seas, play some big events.
I'm going to Triton on Sunday.
And I think I've mentioned to you this before. For all those out there watching that's following me, everybody that's come on my show has won a tournament, folks. Your next day.
Well, I hope
I
I
mean,
can keep the streak
I'm
up.
telling you, it's been happening. And tell me a little bit about Trenton. Though I've never been out of the United States. How are the accommodations? Um, how many players play in that big tournament? Give us a little insight.
Um, the accommodations are quite good. Like it's a very well run operation, you know? Like I'll be walking up to the registration desk before I even get there, they'll have my ticket, you know?
Oh,
Um they have very good dealers. They're mindful of like all of the procedural things and like that sort of thing. And I personally enjoy poker a lot more. The bigger the game, the more I enjoy it, you know? So every day you're playing where first prize is $1 million, you know, and you get a lot of chances. And I really enjoy the competitive aspect of it. I enjoy that for a lot of it, I'm competing against the best players in the world, and then you're playing sometimes against these wealthy recreational players that you have to adapt to, you know, and it's like a
mm.
very cool challenge.
Yeah. It's just like when I go play in tournaments. I always know who's not very good and who's very good. Uh, I was talking on another uh, podcast. I forget who it was with, but about most players that learn the game nowadays, which could be what you're talking about with the rich people, is they're okay pre-flop betting, but after the flop, they really don't know what to do. They always overbet, and they don't know how to bet for value or anything like that. Is that how the rich people are too, or do they really know how to play a little bit?
There's a big variety in abilities, and there's also just a huge difference. If somebody's like trying their hardest to win, that's one thing. And some of the people just are not really there to win. They're just like there to gamble. Like there was a guy who would be like going all in dark, for $50,000.
Uh,
Um, so it's like one thing if a person is like, okay, I've seen Steven Chidwick play. I'm gonna like try to like copy some of his strategies or like. And some people are just, I want to bust this guy with 6-3 suited because it'll be funny. So there's like a whole spectrum, and some of the recreational players, they're just very good natural card players. Some of them probably do study and have a coach, and some of them aren't as good. There's just a whole range.
yeah. Um, do you ever see yourself walking away from poker?
Great question. I've quit many times. It's never stuck. I don't spend a lot of time trying to anticipate the future. Right now, I am really enjoying the competition. Like, poker is a great, like, I enjoy playing games. Poker is just a great game. I also like chess, but there's a flaw in it where, or not a flaw, but something that makes it less fun. You make a mistake early in the game, it might be a situation where it's most likely you're going to lose, but you have to get grinded down for the next 4 hours and just suffer. Poker has this great comeback feature. You could be chipping a chair, you're still in the tournament. Or okay, maybe somebody outplays you, boom, you just hit a three outer. Like the built-in comeback factor where you could play against someone who's more skilled than you and still win does make it a great game. And it's a really hard thing to incorporate into games.
I'm trying to remember, his last name started with a J, and he was at the final table with Kristen and David Peters. And anyhow, he got down to one big blind with like 14 people left. And you know what? He made it to the final table and he finished third after getting down to one big blind. That's how much it can change right there. That was proof. They had a big hand where a bunch of them were all in and knocked him almost out. And then he doubled up, doubled up. Next thing you know, he's back in it. Have you ever done something like that? Get real low and come back in
Um, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but it happens uh,
all the time?
all the time. Um, I mean, on one of the Triton tournaments, I'm like down to eight big. I mean, it's not quite as short, but like I'm down to like eight big blinds in the bubble. I'm in literally last place. Then I end to go on to get like fourth. Like
Yeah,
just remaining in the tournament is worth a lot. Like you win two hands and you're back in it.
patience. Yeah. What was that? I was gonna say. I'm still over crazy here thinking about everything. What is the best call you ever made in poker? I know
Hmm.
there's many of them. I know it's got to be.
Um, especially like poker is very technical um nowadays, but I would say you go back a decade, it was a little bit more of like people guessing and wild, like more like wild calls and that sort of thing. I had a call against Nick Petrangelo in a $100,000 tournament um, at the Aria, and the board had four to a straight on it, and also a jack. And I put out a little bet on the river with my ace jack, and then he put in a big raise all in representing the straight, and the math didn't dictate a call. Like when a certain amount of money goes in, you're just supposed to have a really good hand. But I just thought he was bluffing. Um, and he was, and the whole table gave me like some crazy eyes, like, what the hell is this guy doing? So that was one that jumps out at me, you know? Because
Hmm.
also it's like executing as the stakes get bigger, a lot of people I think play worse, you know? So I always find it satisfying to like execute at the high level, you know? And
Yeah.
also like he's one of the best players in the world. Like
Yes. Yes, he is. It's got to be a thrill to sit down there at any tournament, whether there's 20 or 60 players, when you know that all 60 or 20 of them are top dog players. There's no weak link at the table. And if you come out victorious, I mean, if that was me, I'd be like, man, I'm as good as I think I am. I could do this for a living now. Do you ever think that way, or you just play it like it's played?
my emotions definitely sway. When I'm having a good day, definitely like I'm feeling myself. I think everything's going right. Then you brick a couple of tournaments, and then you have self doubt. So even I mean, I'm aware that I've had a lot of success, but even having done it for so many years, um, I'm still like feeling the short term swings.
Wow. When I deal to you, I mean, I really just met you from dealing over at the Poker Go. I mean, I knew of you and everything. But when I go deal over there to all you guys, I like everyone so much I don't know who to root for, you know? But it gets to a time where I'm sitting there dealing and then I'll bad beat somebody and I'm like, oh god damn, I shouldn't do that. That guy's gonna hate me now. But I
Anyone
talked
who
to
gets upset at a dealer for that is dealing with their own problems. It's just like completely not understanding how poker works. Like, of course, it wasn't your fault the card came, you know?
yeah.
It's just a part of the game. And if somebody doesn't get that, well, like, honestly, I don't think there's any really good players who thinks that way.
But as a person, I think, oh God, he hates me now. I just screwed him hard there. That's what I think because I don't want no one to hate Clyde. That's just how I am. Um, but I enjoy dealing to you guys so much. Well, I know you understand. Believe me, because you're always doing that. What you're doing now, as I had a few times, like you said that one day when you were. It's kind of funny as hell, though. I'm trying to hold it back, right?
I was kind of poking you a little bit too. I'm playing
Uh,
against Chewy, and
yeah,
I'm poking you a little bit, and I mean everyone was loving it.
but it's that button for 10 seconds. It drives me crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so because I'm anticipating what's going to happen, and while I'm dealing, I'm thinking what they got. So this didn't happen the last 25,000 the other day, but this happened in one of them where the buy-in was 25,000, so it wasn't no cheap buy-in. Okay, and 10 seconds and time extension, and then all of a sudden makes the call. Then I'll put the turn up there. 10 seconds. Check. Back over here. 10 seconds. Time extension. Bet. Now back up. It's the time extension. And it's just seconds because I'm anticipating what's going to happen. But I'm being cool. You know me. I'm like, 10 seconds. Inside, I'm going, oh, please just fold. Do something. Just get it over with, please. Then all of a sudden, there was a bet. I think it was 162,000 all in. And I thought for sure the other player was going to fold for sure. And remember, I'm sitting there going, 10 seconds. Time extension. 10 seconds. Time extension. Every time I'm saying time extension, I'm like, oh, God, no. He finally makes the call. Okay? And remember, I'm all wounded up, right? And I go, and he makes the call. Holy crap. And I go, I'm sorry, I misfired there. I didn't mean that. Everybody at the table was laughing their asses off. I'm like, how he makes the call? I thought for sure he was going to fold. And I just couldn't help it. I didn't. I go, well, I didn't mean to do that. And everyone's looking around like, what the? Because it's so quiet. The buy-in was 25 grand. But sometimes I can't help that. And that's
But
terrible.
Poker Go also just has its like own home game atmosphere, you know, where like
Yeah.
I think it's more accepted or like, okay, this guy isn't at the table. We're like, we're not gonna kill his hand. He's right over there. Just like take it. In other places, like, hey, you're not at your chair. Your hand's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes down at Poker Go that wouldn't fly in other card rooms. It's more. It is a little
Yeah.
bit more like a
It
home
is.
game, you know.
Because you all know, you're all like friends. You're all right there. It's amazing. I mean, I'm there every day, and everyone's talking like they're all brother and sister. It is. It's
I
crazy,
mean,
and
some of
yet,
these people I've known for 15 years. You know, like I've been competing against some of these guys in $100,000 tournaments since 2012. Isn't that crazy?
wow.
That's a long
Yes, it
time. You
is.
know, like when I kind of broke through, I was 23 years old. I was just like a cocky kid. You know, like we've grown up with the game, and like we've seen some people go through like different. Uh, we've seen people grow up, and it's. I mean, sometimes it
It's like you're
is.
growing up like brothers and sisters, is what it is. Sounds like to me. I mean,
Yeah, I would like to know what year you started dealing in.
okay. Before I even came out here, I ran a poker tournament at the VFW back in Akron, Lake Moore, Ohio. So I kind of knew how to deal, but not professionally, but we knew about the burning and all that stuff. And mainly back then it was just Hold'em. And that was back when the moneymaker effect came in, okay? But I played so well that my nephew said, move out here to Las Vegas, learn how to deal professional and play. He goes, because you're damn good at it. I said, well, all right. So I painted houses for a long time. So all the new construction went to hell. And I had men working under me. I had like 7 men working under me. And, well, no new construction. All of a sudden, I'm painting outsides and basements and repaints instead of, making good money. So I said, okay, here I come. So I came out here. American School of Dealing is who taught me how to deal. And the guy worked for 15 years at the Mirage dealing poker there. And because we redid their tables, not just their poker tables, their crap tables, all kinds of tables like that, I got I got a $2,100 value. I got to get lessons for free because I painted because I was a painter. I painted the place, and my nephew was doing the tables. So I learned then how to deal professionally, and that year was 2008.
Long time.
2008 ago, yeah. That I actually learned professionally how to deal. Um, and what a teacher! Glenn Deno was the guy's name, and he worked it. Well, I think they closed their poker room now over there at the Mirage. He was there for like 14 years, and and I remember when I was being taught. Pretty good story here, actually. Um, he goes, "Why do you want to be a dealer? You look kind of small. I don't know if you're going to be able to reach everything," which I can, as you can tell. I got my stick, uh, but I knew the game well because I played the game, so I knew the game well. And he always mentioned about his top 40 dealers of all time. Okay, and I told him, well, someday I'm going to be one of those dealers. And you know what? Here I am. I think I am. I think. And by the way, I asked him that. I haven't heard from him for a long time. I go, "Hey, did I ever crack that top 40?" He goes, "Clyde, you amaze me. You amaze me. You know, because I was so little. You know, my reach is not that far. And luckily, they let me use my incense holder. That I made that thing legendary. Do you know that, Dan?
Yeah. And now you're doing what you love.
Oh yeah, yes, sir. Let's get back to you. I mean,
Okay.
I've probably told the same stories 100 times with all the broadcasts I made. But how do you handle a bad beat when you're in a big situation where you're near the money or you're about to win the tournament and everything is so crucial? How do you handle that?
Bad beats don't really bother me. I'll get upset over myself if I think I could have played better. But if the cards don't go my way, like I don't know, you get all in with two aces and you lose, like you probably did everything right, and then it just didn't happen. I used to be a competitive chess player, and in chess, for the most part, the wins and losses are in your control. I kind of enjoyed with poker that all you could do is um, show up and try your best and put in and like you prepare away from the table. You show up and you play your best, and if you get a bad beat, like so be it. Try not to fixate on it too much, and like I often do superstitious things. Like I brought my little owl with me to the poker go this last
I've
week.
seen that. Yes.
Um, but I think it is also important to realize like the cards are random and they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and all you can do is play your best and try to put yourself in a good situation to succeed. And if you lose, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains.
Have I ever made a bad beat on you? I don't think I have. Have I?
I am sure you must have, but it's not something like I think about.
Some players, when they get knocked out, I'm not going to give names, but they get up and they walk out right away because they know they did something wrong. Okay? I don't think it's the dealer because they've done this multiple times where I believe they're so good that they understand what they did wrong. Have you ever felt that way with yourself? Not walking out, but that you actually thought you blew a spot where you could have got something.
Countless times.
Countless?
Like every time I play. You fold and the person was bluffing, maybe I could have called. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I very often finish a poker game feeling like I probably didn't play well. And then I like research it after the fact, and more often than not, I did play well. But like very often, I have the feeling that I didn't play my best at the tournament.
You got pocket nines. You raise. Someone re-raises. You think they're bluffing. You go all in. They feel like they got a call. They got king queen. You got nines. Okay? You felt like you played the hand right if you went that way, or if the king queen calls and you make the call the other way, which way do you think is the best way to go? Would you have called it with nines or folded with the nines?
The situations are technical and specific enough that like whether you raised the first position eight-handed or say the cutoff, they're completely different strategies, and I
Yeah.
would say every situation is different. But like I would say it's pretty infrequent that you're going to fold nines to a single three bet. Like you got to play them. They're pretty good hand.
I talk to all of you pros and you all say the same thing. It's amazing that you guys are on the same stuff because uh, I dealt not to you. There, was, I think it was Jonathan Little. He had pocket nines. They were all in pre-flop against king queen. I think a queen hit the flop and I knocked him out. Um, and like I said, I mean, it's gonna happen. I mean, he's in with the best hand. I know it's happened to me many times. But what would you think the percentages are if you're in a hand all in against two overcards, no matter what two overcards they are, even though it does really matter sometimes because they could be suited and a flush is involved
You're
or
roughly
straight.
55%. When you have like a pair against overcards, and it could be a little better, a little worse type of thing, you know. I'm gonna try to phrase what my answer another way. Say there's a 100-person poker tournament. Let's just pretend, for the sake of argument, in that tournament I'm the best player in the field. Maybe I'll win 1 out of 70 times. 69 out of 70 times, I'm not gonna win the tournament.
Wow.
So like, if you kind of have that perspective, you can't really go in expecting to win. You can just go out and play your best. But Steve O'Dwyer once said to me about like the swings in poker, like you can't win every time, but those prolonged stretches of not winning make those big wins all the sweeter when they do come.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So by me talking to you today, I see you have that clear, straight thought process that no matter what's going to happen or has happened, it's not going to matter in any situation because it can change at any moment. In other words, you don't look at that when we was talking about nines earlier. Just because you lost once with the nines doesn't mean all of a sudden you're not going to play the nines because it could go the other way around, right?
And also, just because they happen to have king queen, I don't necessarily think about like this hand versus that exact hand. I think overall about the general situation, you know? So maybe I'll think like, okay, I'm raising the cutoff. Let's pretend I have 29% of hands. The small blind three bets, maybe they have 8% of hands. How do I want to proceed with both my overall strategy, like every hand that I could have, and then this specific hand, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am generally a lot more concerned about like the process that goes into making a good decision rather than like the results. Sometimes you kind of have to think about the results because if you're like, I called because I thought he was bluffing and he wasn't bluffing, like, okay. Um, but poker's a hard game and there's a lot of variables. I was watching this chess stream once, and this person who was like a top 10 player in the world was talking about how they had no idea what was going on in a specific chess position. And I found that very comforting that, like, the reminder that even the top guys in their craft often just don't know. Like, I think people assume that very good poker players know what to do in every spot. Very often, I'm in a situation and I'm like, I have no idea what to do. And I'm just trying to do my best.
What is No Limit Hold'em your favorite game to play in poker, or is there other games you like?
I'm definitely the best at um, No Limit Hold'em. I enjoy single draw No Limit. I think it's like a very pure game and it's exciting. And I do enjoy the mixed games, but I don't get many opportunities to play them.
Okay. Now, what do you like to do on your free time when you're not playing poker?
Hmm. Um, my favorite thing is to go snowboarding. If there's fresh powder, I think it's like the absolute best thing in the world. I do it as much as I can. I mean, I really like. I just absolutely love it. I've gotten pretty into tennis in the last couple of years. I really enjoy having like a competitive outlet because, as funny as this might sound, poker doesn't really scratch that itch because of the luck factor. You know, like all I can do is play my best. I really enjoy playing a tennis match, and I play as hard as I can every time. You know, and I love that, and it's a great workout. And I guess given I'm not as good, I have way less pressure on myself. You know, if I'm trying to go down the line and I just miss, it's like everybody misses sometimes. You know, I tried. That's okay. Um, and I guess in recent years too, like for a long time, poker was so far and away like the main part of my life. In recent years, I've really been trying to prioritize more quality times with my favorite people, my loved ones. Life is short, and like at the end of the day, like sometimes I'm like looking back on like whether how I finished in like Poker Go Cup Event 9. I'm probably not even gonna remember, you know. But you get like a great weekend with somebody like my best friend from New Jersey who I don't get to see very often. Like that special. So I'm really trying to prioritize that sort of thing. Like I'm going to Triton on this Sunday, and under normal circumstances, I would like to get there a few days early and acclimate to the time zone and be like refreshed and ready to go. But my family's visiting. My sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew, my mom, her boyfriend. So it's like, you know what? I think it's a little bit suboptimal for like how I'm going to compete in this poker tournament, and that's okay because I want to hang out with them. So I'm really trying to prioritize that in recent years.
But just remember, when you go over there and you win that son of a bitch, Clyde told me he was going to do that because I was on his show.
I appreciate the good vibes, and I'll try
And
to
when
win
you
one
need
for
to
you.
think and think positive, you know what you think? Snack. That's what you got to do. You got to think, boy, if I could just get a snack and turn this around. You know, one of the things I used to like to do, and you're not going to believe it, I was very good. I'm not kidding you. I was very good at basketball. I know I'm a short little dude, but I was quick and fast and I could shoot. And I loved that competition because they're always taller than me. So it was a big competition. So I enjoyed that. Of course, I'm up there now. I can't move as quick as I used to. And I've hurt my right knee too many times to be quick anymore. But I enjoy that. Um, Other stuff I enjoy, which can't wait to ask you on this part. I'm wearing this nice, beautiful hat right here, right? And it
It's a
reflects
beautiful hat.
it reflects the Texas. It also reflects the country music, which I love to do. I love to sing country music. I love the country music, everything about country, because country people are pretty cool. What's your favorite kind of music?
I don't care for country music. I'm sorry, and I
That's
know I
okay.
might lose my cowboy privileges, but I listen to a lot of indie rock. Like my favorite band is LCD Sound System, who I've seen in person a bunch of times and always put on a spectacular show. But I also listen to like just generally rock music and hip hop. I really like Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. I will. You can still wear the Doyle's hat. You don't have to be complete country there, brother. I mean, I know me. My family is from. My mom and dad are both from West Virginia, so But when my dad got out of, the war, the army thing, he moved to Akron, Ohio, to do rubber tires for airplanes and stuff at Goodyear Aerospace. So we went. This is before I was even thought of, and he moved up here, and that's how we moved to Ohio. But my dad's side of the family was good with show horses, big time into horses. So my great grandpa, my dad loved his grandpa. So that's part of my history. Is uh, he had money back then, but my grandpa always would get the worst of the deal because he was a good guy. Is what I was told. So, but I'm a hillbilly guy. What can I say? I mean, you know, you don't have to be a hillbilly guy to like a nice Stetson hat, though.
I appreciate that. I have an ex girlfriend who's from Texas, and her dad said to me, he called me a goat roper, saying I wouldn't know what side of a horse to get on. And he was right.
Oh my. Other things I like to do. Do you like to sing at all? I mean, I like to sing country music, but I sing other than country. Do you like to sing at all?
um, I am quite self conscious about what a bad singer I am. Like, I'll do karaoke occasionally. Um, I just can't really like change my voice like in a artistic way. It's just not a skill that I have.
It's all about having fun, buddy. That's the way I look at it. I don't sing that great. I just sing for fun. Um, but that's some of the thing I'll do. I'll be going to work. I'll be driving. I'll put in the music and just kick back. That's one thing I like about my car. The stereo system's pretty badass in it. And also, country people like myself are laid back. So we're like, you know what I mean? We're like just laid back to where we care about people. I mean, for example, if we're driving down the road in West Virginia, okay, where my family's from, and somebody's broken down on the side of the road, they stop and help them. They don't do that no more. Not even out here. I don't think so. So I feel that's just why the way I am is the way I was raised
I
about
mean, like
philanthropy.
generally, your positive energy is like a palpable thing, and I think it just enhances the mood of everyone around them. You know, like people just being kind to other people is just like an immediate noticeable effect.
Well, I know one thing, like I've said 100 times, when I get picked to go over there to deal in the Poker Go studio, it's like a kid, the old saying, a kid in the candy store. I just love it. And God, man, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get too old and I can't do it. I wonder what the hell I'm going to do. But you know what? I'll deal with it when that time comes. Like I said, there's a reason. There is a reason out there why God kept me alive when I went through what I did. And this is one thing I just can't believe what's going on is this podcast that seems to be growing so quickly.
It's blowing up.
I mean, I'm not kidding you. I mean, it's amazing. Um, I'm sure. Did you get to see the show, by the way, yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
It's tough with the poker go schedules where you're just playing late every night, and like I tried to listen into it while I was playing, and I kind of don't like the headspace it put. Like it kind of takes away like my competitive juices, you know.
Well,
But I do look forward to watching it. I downloaded it, and I'll listen to it on the very long plane ride over to Korea.
okay. Well, they put it out December the 11th, and my podcast it's been amazing. But I had on my YouTube channel, I had 308 subscribers until what happened to me, and now, wow, I've got 11,500 within 2 months.
That's some great.
That is amazing.
That is some great growth. And I will clarify the December one I've seen. I just know that you texted me one that you put out like last week. But
See, every Monday I'm putting one out now,
so
and
I saw
Monday
the other one with Chewy, but not the more recent
that
one.
okay, that was yeah, that's the one I just put out actually on
Yeah,
Monday. Yeah.
but the December one I did see, and it was great. And that's when I reached out, or like when I found out about that, I saw it, and then I reached out to you.
Dan, do you see what I mean though, bud? That you came here and asked to be on this show. I didn't have to ask you, and that's you're the only one to ever do that. Honest to God, it was just flip me out. Being, I know you're humble too, but goddamn, look at these stats, dude. You're one of the best in the world, and I'm sitting here with Dan fucking Smith. I
I,
mean, my God, what more can I ask for?
I mean, that's
Are you
very kind,
kidding?
and thank you.
I'm serious, dude. I've had trouble doing this all day here for the last hour because I am overwhelmed of a talented man like yourself being on my show and asking to come on. God damn, I can't help it. I'm a little guy from Lakemore, and I got Dan Smith asking to come on my podcast. I know you're laughing, but I'm overwhelmed with it, and I just lost my head. I'm so over damn whelmed with it.
I,
My God.
I mean,
Wow.
everyone is, we're just people, you know.
Dude,
Even like okay, like you see this person on TV, but like day to day, it's mostly like I play tennis, I play pickleball, I lift weights. Like
I wish I could do all that again. I used to do all that shit. Now I still work out every now and then. For my health reasons. I do the bike and shit. I can't really run yet. I can't lift weights yet again. So, but I used to be athletic. Even though I'm a little son of a bitch, I used to be athletic, and
I
it
believe it for
still
sure.
kills me that after what happened to me. And by the way, Dan, God, you know how many big stars, poker stars, say they want to come on my show? It's like a tumbleweed effect. I'm not kidding. I it's
I think
you
because
just mentioned half of them. Jeremy Osmus. What's the one that's got the mustache going again?
Chidwick.
Chad, all these guys are wanting to come on my show. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, it's because we all think that you're like a very like special person we want to spend time with. You know,
But it's flooring me. Honest to God, I'm just loving what I do. It's all I'm doing, and it seems to be everyone seems to like it. I guess.
I hope at some point you see yourself the way that we all see you, because you're just like the biggest delight. Like for us, it's like of course we're gonna go on Clyde's podcast. Like what? Like
I like I said, I'm so overwhelmed. Honest to God, I'm holding this in. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I mean, this is something else. What's going on? Okay. But you know what happens when someone comes on my show? By the way, I've got some Snack Attack hats in the process of being made. So when people come on my show, I'm going to hand them one of those. But for right now, we're just about done here. I got to give you a snack. And right here it is, folks. There you go. Here you go. Here's your little snacker. That's
just
what
as
you
good
need.
as the real thing.
What, cop? You're ready to go to Detroit now. You're ready. He got him a snack here, folks. I tell you what.
It's so hard not to fit you with chips. I've seen these here the whole time. I just want to be playing with them.
He wants to play poker now. I tell you what. I want to, again, before we break off here, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. And I really think you're going to hit a big one over there now. I don't know what it is, but it seems like everybody's winning the tournament that's come on my podcast. That's crazy, but it's like the Lord's thanking them for doing what they're doing for me. I don't know. But I know I believe in God, and that's why I'm still here. And we're going to end this podcast here. And once again, God, thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. And may God bless y'all, because God knows, I know He's blessing my soul. I'll tell you that right now. And I know I'm going to heaven, and I'm going to be playing some poker with my dad when I get up there. Thanks once again. Have a good night.